Hi, today we will be discussing the poem I Wander Lonely as a Cloud by William Wordsworth. Here are the basic informations about the author. The author's full name is William Wordsworth. He was born in 7th of April 1770 in Crookermouth, England. He died on the 23rd of April 1850 in Rydalmount, also in England. He was the leader of Romantic movement in England. He was one of the England's best Romantic poets in the 19th century. John Wordsworth and Anne Cookson's second child of 5. At the age of 8, his mother passed away and his father followed 5 years later. William studied at St. John's College in Cambridge. He fell in love with Anne Vallon, with whom he had a child, but he married Mary Hutchinson, with whom he had 5 children, but 2 of them died before reaching the age of 6. Wandered Lonely as a Cloud, popularly known as The Daffodils, is a lyrical poem by William Wordsworth. It's about the author's appreciation to nature's beauty. The poem's finished version was originally published in 1815 in collected poems. The poem has 2 volumes. The earlier volume was released in 1807, which has 3 stanzas, while the final form has 4 stanzas.
Setting and background information. On April 15, 1802, the poem depicts a specific moment. Walking near Lake Ullswater in Grasmere, Cumbria County, England, Wordsworth and his sister Dorothy came across a long belt of golden daffodils. Dorothy Wordsworth, Wordsworth's sister, was an influential in his life because of her love of the nature. Inspiration of the poem. The poetry depicts a certain point in time. On April 15, 1805, Wordsworth and his sister Dorothy come across a seashore of daffodils while wandering near a lake in Grasmere, Cumbria County, England. They discovered the daffodils beside a lake.
The daffodils are personified as a swarm of humanity. The dancing daffodils symbolize pleasure through their physical movement. This is contrast to the speaker's loneliness and daffodils' crowd. It means to be cut off from the rest of the world. He looks to be in a daydream-like condition, his mind uncaring by the current situation, and the speaker is no longer far away from the daffodils or the world. In line 5 prepositions place him on the ground, along the lake, and beneath the trees. The figure of speech of stanza 1 is simile, because the poem compares himself to a cloud that walks aimlessly. In second stanza, he compared the daffodils to the stars in our galaxy and emphasizes the number of them, claiming that they are endless and boundless. This demonstrates the degree of his joy and delight. Toasting like fluttering underlines the personification and movement of these daffodils in verse 1. The figure of speech of stanza 2 are simile and personification. Simile because the poem describes daffodils to stars because of their large quantity and gleaming look. Personification because the poem takes on the role of the character, daffodils moving their heads fast as if they were human beings.
The play of the daffodils on the speaker's senses fills him with joy, and he compares it to the waves. The waves sway in the air and glimmer like stars, but they are not as dazzling as the daffodils. He argues that when surrounded by such lovely things, he can't help but be joyful, and he uses the words jocund, gay, and laughing to emphasize that he is no longer lonely. This scenario portrays a feeling of richness, indicating that he is no longer lonely. Of speech. Stanza 3. The waves beside them dance and they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. Personification. The waves are personified by the poet as a dancing and cheerful people. Because the influence that the daffodils have had on him, he is transported back in time to the moment when the flowers were dancing, and he finds himself dancing alongside them. Figures of speech. Stanza 4. Personification. His heart is personified by the poet as a dancing human being.